And welcome to another edition of the Living Large Theater Podcast. I am Billy Santiago, along with my good friend of 38 years, Gary Rodriguez, our super producer, Noe Ayala. You can reach out to us via Gmail at livinglargetheater@gmail.com. We're available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and now on YouTube. Just hashtag Living Large Theater Podcast. Rate our podcast, share with a friend, leave us a comment, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button.
This is the Living Large Theater Podcast. Admission is free. All you need is a sense of humor and a thirst for entertainment, and sometimes a suspension of reality. This is the fastest growing podcast in America. Congratulations to Mr. Glenn Thomas from Aspen, Colorado. Mr. Thomas is the winner of the 2026 Toyota Tundra, donated to the Living Large Theater Podcast by our generous sponsor, Henderson Toyota of South Central Florida.
Does it come with snow tires?
Mr. Thomas correctly answered the question, why are all the towels in my bathroom white? His answer, because you take them from all the hotels where you stay. That is correct. Congratulations, Glenn Thompson. Hey, let's do a quick monologue. It's been almost 2 weeks since McAllen native and world-famous motorcycle racer Steve Wise passed away, and the local newspaper, The Monitor, hasn't printed one word about Steve's greatness, his accomplishments, nor his far-reaching ministry. I have a suggestion for The Monitor. If you can't keep up, just shut down. A word of advice to people who hate Donald Trump so much: your hate for him makes me love him more. Your hate for him hurts you more than it hurts him. And your hate for him doesn't affect him one single bit. Gas hitting $2 a gallon. Our buddy J.D. Mata is in the movie Clica. Go see it.
Big ups.
Where do we see it, Billy? Where do we see it?
Well, in Edinburgh, you can go to the AMC Theater. I'm sure it's playing at Cinemark, too.
Nice. Congratulations.
Don't know that for sure, but I know it's at AMC in Edinburgh.
J.D. Mata, after 25 years in Hollywood, is an overnight success. He is awesome. He's been on the show several times. We love it. Congratulations, JT. I should say JD. Como que JT. The Super Bowl, 11 days away. 11 days away is the Super Bowl, and Bill Belichick gets passed over for nomination into the football.
Well, he's not a first ballot. He'll get in, man. Just
Well,
a bunch of politics going on there, man.
Yeah,
you know?
all those people that vote probably never played one down of football. Spring break is right around the corner. Listen, when you come to South Padre Island for spring break, save some money and make White Sands Marina Inn and Suites your hotel headquarters. White Sands Marina Inn and Suites is in Port Isabel. It's veteran-owned by Arnold and Corina Flores. White Sands offers a beautiful hotel, a full-service restaurant, and an awesome bar. In addition, White Sands is on the water and gives you access to the best Coast Guard certified boat captains in South Texas. White Sands Marina Inn and Suites. Book your stay now at wsnnsuites.com or just stop by for a day of fun in the sun. Tell them you heard it here on the Living Large Theater Podcast. And when you get there, make sure you stop by Tom and Jerry's on South Padre Island and buy one of our Elon Musk Had a Blast on South Padre Island
you guys
t-shirts.
printed more, huh?
Got 500 of them.
All right.
We had 500 more. They're there at Tom and Jerry's. They're just $25, and all proceeds go to a great cause, the Gary Rodriguez Retirement Fund. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hats off to the Texas sportsman, Fred Rodriguez, one of our great corporate sponsors, recognized by the Texas Senate as the premier hunting and fishing guide in South Texas. The Texas sportsman, gotta have it. Vantage Media, trusted by over 100 businesses and service providers, including Hacienda Ford, D-Tronics, 5x5 Brewing, and attorney Leah Wise. Vantage Media offers you website design, social media expertise, and successful advertising campaigns to put you front and center on TV, radio, and the World Wide Web. VantageMedia.com. Also, Trapped RGV Escape Rooms. Can you work with friends and family to solve the puzzle necessary to get yourself free from a live-action escape room in 60 minutes? I think you can. I'm going to help you. Be the first to text me Trapped RGV to 956-225-6397, and you'll get a 6-pack of tickets to Trapped RGV. Ward Thomas and Majestic Studios. If you're ready to record your next hit record, Why not do it here at Majestic Studios, 2037 Orchid Avenue in McAllen, Texas? Thank you, Ward, for your continued support of the Living Large Theater podcast. And thank you for joining us today. And please give a warm welcome to our very special guest, South Texas power attorney and candidate for mayor of Mission, Rick Salinas. Rick, welcome.
Thank you for having me here, guys.
Man,
Glad
I
to be
can't
here.
believe you gave us at least an hour of your time. I know how busy you are.
I am.
And, you know, I hope I'm not exaggerating when I say you are a power attorney. All the big cases down here, they fight to get Rick Salinas first. What has put you in that position?
I think it's the upbringing given to me by my dad. I think that we're molded by those experiences, you know, as we're growing up, right?
Yeah.
And I think that my father didn't really make any money till he got older. So we grew up in some of these areas here in McAllen that were a little bit rough.
Yeah.
And my father used to say, listen, I know you're out of law school. I know you graduated already, but give me a call when you graduate from the School of Life. And that must have been when I was 27, I guess.
Wow.
So later on in life, he, I guess, acknowledged the fact that after all of these battles, you know, he goes, hey, you're doing okay now. But life has a funny way of molding you and changing you. And it's a risk nowadays because we expose our kids to certain things. But it's those things that I was exposed to and survived.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes you what makes, and only God knows why you end up in this place like this. You know?
Well, that's the big word right there. You
It is.
survived. You survived and
Right.
you thrived, and now I don't want to get any name dropping of cases that you've handled, but you've handled some very prominent cases.
Right.
And the fact that you're sought after to defend people who, you know, we don't know if they're guilty or not. That's up to the jury, but that they seek you out for representation says a lot about you.
I think a lot of the lost hope cases, right? And I tell people that during your tenure as a lawyer, you may have a successful career, and some lawyers will always have that one case that made them, you know, a special case, right? But for me, it's been multiple special cases, and it's been cases. I remember when I defended Mr. Guerrero back in 2007, almost 20 years ago. He was our clerk. I don't know if you remember that.
District clerk.
And consistency. It started in 93 and hasta la fecha, como dicen in Spanish.
Omar Guerrero, right?
Omar Guerrero,
Yeah.
yes. So it's not luck, you know, because I think that sometimes when you're successful, people say, well, he just got lucky, you know?
No.
But I think that when you've done it as long as I have, I'm going on 33 years.
Yeah.
And I know it seems like you said just yesterday, but Gary, I've known you a long time, and I've known Billy for a long, long time, right?
Yeah.
And it's been 33 years.
Let me tell the story about how you and I met. You showed up at B104.
That's right.
When we were in Edinburgh, the radio station, and somebody said, hey, there's somebody out there in the lobby who wants to talk to somebody. So I go out there, and it's Rick Salinas. I guess you were at Pan Am at the time?
Yes, I was at Pan Am at the time.
And you had a reel-to-reel tape,
Yeah.
and it was in a box, and it said Gypsy Rose, and you said that this is your band, and you wanted to know if the radio station would play it. So I went in there. I can't exactly remember who the program director was, but I lobbied. I go, man, he looks like a nice kid. Got long hair.
And I was a kid, Billy, believe it or not.
Got some long hair, and he looks like he knows what he's talking about regarding music. And the program director, you know, he just, you know, it was a corporate thing, I guess. We had a certain format. He said
It wasn't on wax. That's
He
yeah.
said
No, and
it's not going to play.
Yeah, and we were more into the heavier Austin, you know, at that time they had bands like Dangerous Toys and Raging Saint and stuff like that. And
So
the
how-
Valley wasn't ready for that. you
So
know?
what kind of music was that? Was that alternative rock?
No,
Was that-
it was rock and roll, probably
Big hair rock.
beer hair rock,
Yeah.
heavy metal kind of sort of stuff, you know, that we were doing, you know. And Amazing, yeah. And I had some real good musicians, you know. J.J. Chapa, who had been with one of the original bands, which was Tricks, back in the old
I remember
days,
Tricks.
in the 80s,
Yeah,
early
yeah, I
80s,
remember Tricks.
79, 80. And then there was Eddie Miranda, and then I had Rolly, who's now a commissioner with the city of McAllen.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And I'm sure the commissioner's thinking, what the hell did he just do? I was a delinquent back then.
Well, I apologize that we didn't play it.
So how long did you stay with the Gypsy Rose thing before you decided, you know what, I need to do something else?
When I took off to Houston to study to be a lawyer, I went in there and I ran into a friend of mine, Calixto Villar, who's a practicing lawyer out of Rio Grande City. And you know, Gary, my hair was almost down to the middle of my back.
I know.
You know? I mean, way almost
You
close to
lived
my
the
waist.
part.
I lived the part,
You
right?
lived it.
So I had shaved the sides of my head, and I had lines through it. And then when I get there, Calixto goes, okay, who cut your hair? And I said, why? He goes, you may have a negligent cause of action.
Yeah, that's your first case.
That was his first case, and I was the plaintiff, right? So that was funny.
That's awesome, man. No, I do apologize. We didn't play your song. What song was it that you had on the tape?
We had at that time, I think we had recorded like 4 different tunes. One of them was a song called Goodbye. There was a song Scary. There was a couple of songs. I don't remember all of them, but you know, we had good musicians. It was just probably a little too heavy for KBFM 104.
Do you still have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Do you still have a copy of that?
Rolly might have a copy. He probably sleeps with it.
We were top 40. That's our only defense is we were top 40. So if you had a song that was in the top 40 on Billboard or one of those charts, we were going to play that song till your ears bled.
Yeah.
Over and over and over. And so that was the format. Another connection we have, I coached your son Adan in football at the Boys and Girls Club. He was on my team, the Raiders.
Yeah.
And I hope I didn't ruin him on football.
No, he's studying to be a veterinarian. He should be out in 2027.
Dr. Salinas.
Awesome.
Dr. Salinas. All
Good
my
for
kids are
him.
lawyers, and my daughter should be out in December. My oldest boy's in Austin. He's a prosecutor in Travis County.
Nice.
Christian just got sworn in by his mom, passed the bar the first time. And my daughter will be out in December. She'll take the bar. But this beautiful, my youngest boy, and he's a big kid. He's not like Adan. Yes, you remember him, right?
He was a big kid then.
He's built something like Adonis. So I look at him and I say, who's your dad? Tell me. I said, because it's kind of like the
That's
Jackie
funny.
Gleason expression. There's no way you came from
my loins.
from my loins. I said, so we need to talk to your mom and find out what's going on. He's a beautiful, he's got a beautiful body. I mean, just
That's
built
amazing.
like. So I look at him saying, his dad was a good looking man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Wherever he is.
Wherever he is.
No, we had fun, but we didn't win any games, but we had fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
So I'm glad-
you weren't that good of a coach, huh?
So that was the coaching.
They fired you, huh?
I did it for 2 years, and then
Yeah.
So I remember I got pulled over one time by DPS, and no names mentioned. Pulled over. I'd been downtown or Santa Fe and Steakhouse, and I was,
A little tipsy.
I was driving, and he asked me, "Is there a reason you had your blinker on for a mile?" And I said, "Well, I was going to turn."
Yeah.
And he said, "Okay, give me all your shit." So I gave him all my shit, and he goes back to this cruiser, and he comes back, and I know I'm, I don't know, probably going to go to jail. And he goes, "Do you remember me?" And I didn't, but I said I did.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "We used to coach against each other at the Boys and Girls Club."
There you go.
And I said, "That's right. And you always won." And I knew that because we always lost.
I remember that.
And the guy says, "Where are you going?" I said, I closed one eye. I said, "I'm trying to get right over there." And he gives me back all my stuff. And he says, "Be safe." And I thought, thank you, Lord.
Sometimes it pays to be a loser, huh, Gary?
Well, I think it pays to be nice. I think
One
it
of
pays
those
to be
rare
nice.
moments.
I think it pays to be nice. Yeah. So you are the son of former Mission Mayor
Yes.
Norberto Salinas.
Yes, sir.
Did the mayor ever meet Tom Landry?
I don't know. I want to say I think he did.
Because I know he was mayor when Landry would come down here a couple of times for special events.
My father was a special guy in the sense that as big a legend and the name as Tom Landry was, my father was real down to earth.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell even in his leadership style, right? So he could have met Tom Landry or Tom Selleck, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Ronald Reagan.
Or Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have cared.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. He was mayor how long?
20 years.
Wow.
He was a big fan of Rick Perry. Him and Rick Perry, the former governor, were very good friends.
Tight.
And
Yeah,
other than
that's
Rick
good.
Perry, we
Yeah. Now, how did Beto survive as a conservative Republican? I mean, in Mission, he always won re-election.
I think that's a misnomer. People think that he was a conservative Republican, but he was just conservative. And one of the things that he used to say is that the party and the ideology in the party would change. He goes, but I'm still the guy from the 60s that
Yeah.
graduated from high school. And if you remember, Kennedy said, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you can do for your country. If you
Yes.
repeat that today,
Yeah.
you'd be a patriot, a conservative, and somebody would be criticizing you
Yeah.
for making that
You're
statement,
Nazi.
right? So, yeah, that's right. So things change, but he never changed.
Yeah.
He says, everybody else is changing, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So you call me what you want to call me, but I'm sticking to what got me here.
Yeah.
I'm going back with the lady that brought me to the dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those were the values. So he wasn't a big fan. This is why when he ran for mayor, he decided to
What
run.
year did he go in?
He went in 98.
Okay.
He finished his tenure with the county. He was there from 1980 to 1992.
Okay.
In 98, he ran for mayor. He won and kept getting reelected.
Yeah.
So we had the city in the black for 20 years, and
That's nice, man.
it is. And some of his detractors today, because there's so many things going on with the city of Mission that they like to blame people that are not here anymore. But every municipality, every government goes through phases of success. And whatever the failures are, they're not born all by themselves. It's typically some form of mismanagement. But I tell people, look, if you went through a period of time when you were successful for 20 years, take it for what it is, because things change. In the 80s, we had Ronald Reagan. People used to say, well, he doesn't know what he's doing, but he sure made me feel good.
We had good 8 years.
Yeah, good 8 years. And he made people spend money, and we were happy for 8 years. Now, does everything last forever? No, things change. And all we can hope to do is, hopefully for Mission, bring back those happier days. One way or the other. This is why I'm running. I
want to say right now, we didn't discuss any of the questions. I don't use questions. There's not a note here in front of me. All I have is my laptop where I want to talk about our sponsors properly, give them proper respect for sponsoring our show. I just want to know, what's the controversy right now? And before you answer that, I want to say, I've seen video of you going before the city commission there, and you're a hell of an orator. I mean, the way you speak, the way you present, the way you maximize your time with people's attention, to me, is very impressive. I've always prided myself on trying. I don't call myself a great public speaker, but I try to be a good public speaker.
Sure.
And I look at you in your forms of speech and delivery and cadence and messaging. Where does that come from, and how does that sustain you?
I think that comes, 33 years, right, bro? I mean, I've been a lawyer doing this for 33 years, right? And I never thought I'd get this far. And that's an honest-to-goodness response. I think my father, I'll tell you a short story. Yeah. When I passed the bar, I called my dad. And my family members know this. This is how weird my old man was. I love the guy. He's gone. But he says, no, hombre, mijito, you passed the bar. We got to have a party, man. I said, yeah, this was like 9 o'clock in the morning, right down the street where Juan Hinojosa was at, right? Mm-hmm. And he was our state representative at the time. So I call him at 9. He said, yeah, let me plan it. So 3 o'clock rolls around. He calls me back. He said, hey, I'm spending a lot of money on this party, And I've talked to a certain judge to come in and swear you in. He goes, you want to call up there again and make sure you pass the bar? I said, okay.
That's pretty smart.
And he said, mira, mijito, no andes con tonteras. I don't want you to show up with a sad face and tell me, Dad, I made a mistake. It's the wrong guy, right?
Yeah, good deal.
So
don't count your chickens before they hatch.
That's right. But he was that way, and I think that the biggest sense of pride for him was, for me, it was a tough. I had to learn English all over again. It felt like I was learning Chinese, man. Because we were in the streets, Gary. That.
Yeah.
And we were rough and tumble coming up, And I've got a brother who's still trying to get over, drugs and alcohol. He's doing better. He's out there, But somewhere down the road, I decided that I wanted to close that chapter and lock the door.
You have to do that.
Yeah, you have to. Mm-hmm. I literally, and Rolly knows this. Your city commissioner here in the city of Mission, he knows this. I had to padlock and chain some things in order for me to stay away from that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what made me do it, but that's the beginning. And then after that, I went to law school. I got out, and I was happy and grateful that I did that. And then I started the trial process. So I think Juan Hinojosa probably and George Powell are the ones to blame for that, because they were all lawyers are like that. They're very touchy-feely about their cases. And I said, hey, man, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm here already, right? So when do I get a chance to pick up one of these juicy fake cases, right? And when do I get to litigate this?
Yeah.
Right? And
you were ready.
I was ready, and they didn't want me to. So Juan, in his brilliance, says, go to the county and let them, assign you on a couple of cases, And once he did that, and once I went over there and I started, racking up these trials, that over 30 some odd years, probably more
You
than 200.
never looked back.
I never looked back.
Well,
That's
that's
right.
amazing.
So you remember the first case you won?
I did. I don't, Billy, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I won it, but it was in front of Judge Evans.
Yeah,
And
Joby Evans.
It was one of the Juan Hinojosa, George Powell cases, right? It was a premises liability case, right? So I'm in this trial, and I'm rocking and rolling, and poor Judge Evans, one of the greatest, he was just a great old guy, right? In the middle of the trial, this old guy would say, watch it now. And I'm thinking, is the judge supposed to say that? Do I object to this guy saying that? The next thing he says, watch it with Salinas now. I said, Jesus. So we're almost at a full day, right? And he calls everybody in. And he goes, listen, son. And I'm looking at the judge like, you're not going to get what you want. And you defense lawyers, you're going to pay a little bit more. And he knew it would never get the verdict. So he forced us to settle that case.
Really?
It wasn't big money, but he forced us to
Do you think
settle
that's a good way to do business sometimes in the courtroom?
Well, not nowadays. I don't think. I think back then, Judge Joby Evans was trying to keep everybody happy. And in today's world, because of social media, people, they frown on stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's win or take all, win or lose all, or lose all, right? So it wasn't until 96 that I had, I don't know if you remember that case where there was a gang rape and 15 minors were arrested, and
Wow.
I had the only defendant that was acquitted in the middle of that trial. And in my young, stupid mind, I accidentally left a probation foreman for the department on the jury. And I don't know if you remember, Gary, my client left in the middle of the trial. So
I don't remember that.
The monitor was making fun of me because I had a picture of my client and I put it on a chair.
Oh.
And the Honorable Judge Letty Lopez, a dear friend of mine, I mean, she was, I don't mean this in a bad way, but she was a beast of a prosecutor, bro.
Yeah.
They don't make them like that no more.
This is before she was judge.
Before she was judge.
She was a prosecutor.
My God, and did I get a learning lesson from her. But at the end of the day, we put a lot of effort into it. And even though the monitor made fun of me that I was making some ridiculous effort to make the jury believe that my client was there through a photograph.
Yeah, osmosis of a photograph.
Got to do what you got to do.
Hey, so
all
when
right?
you go against another attorney, like you just said, Letty's, and I know Letty, she's a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
And you say you're dear friends, but when you're in the courtroom, I guess going against each other, how do y'all patch that up afterwards?
Well, she's a judge now. So
no, I'm just using her as an example.
Back
but,
then?
Other lawyers, any other lawyer
No,
that...
I don't look, advocacy is one of those deals. And when I walked in here, just for the people that are listening, I couldn't help but notice that you said, Rick, you look great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I do, I don't. Billy, what do you think?
I think you do.
But the secret to that is, it's kind of like that old proverbial saying, it's got to run off your back like water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
You can't take it personal.
You can't take it personal,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You got to be a zealous
The
advocate.
good or the bad.
The good or the bad.
Yeah, but I meant it. You look great. That's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
suit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Looks like a suit Yasser Arafat would wear.
something. You remember him? Leader of the Palestinian Liberation
Yes.
Organization.
All his suits are $2,800, man.
Whatever, dude.
That's how old we are. We remember Yasser Arafat.
Let me ask you this, man. So what's the controversy? That some people, you address something that everybody's saying, I'm not going to be on the ballot, but I'm going to be on the ballot. I'm going to run for mayor. What were they trying to keep you off the ballot, or was it a technicality?
I think that nobody in the right mind, and again, success is measured differently by different folks. But I've had economic success. I've had success in the courtroom. I've clearly, in the last 60 years that I've been around, because I turned 60 in November, there's no doubt, and Gary, you know this because I grew up a quasi-delinquent, right? But those mistakes is what forms what you see today.
Yeah.
So you learn from those mistakes. I think the biggest mistake is not learning from the mistake, right?
Yeah.
And I think that people are having a hard time reconciling this idea that I would ever want to be the mayor, which is really a thankless, payless position. And why would you do it? But my dad, and I go back to my dad and my mom, more so my dad, and not to leave out my mom, because my mom's been very instrumental in so many different ways, right? But my dad, we used to say, listen, any agnostic and, Any non-believer can be a good member of the community. They pay their taxes and they're good neighbors. He goes, but as a Christian, amigo, you got to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
So for me, as I'm getting older, as we are turning that chapter and we're approaching the winter of our existence, you need to find a way to say, hey, I don't want to wait till I'm in my bed to say, God, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know? So if I get a C+,
Yeah.
when I see St. Peter, if that gets me in, bro, I'm working on that C+.
So you're developing a sense of community service now.
Yes.
Not that you never have had it,
Right.
but now in a bigger role.
Yes.
So you are on the ballot.
I am on the ballot.
Okay.
Well, I'm not on the ballot yet because there hasn't been a printed ballot
Okay,
yet.
but you will be on
I
the
will
ballot.
be on it, yes.
Is there going to be a primary? Right?
No,
Or-
this is just it's a municipal race. It's a nonpartisan race.
plurality, right?
Plurality,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Billy, you want
So-
to, what does that mean?
What's that?
Plurality.
Could it be?
I
Could
have-
it be that once again I do not possess your intellect or education, Gary?
Hey now. So what is your vision for a mission once elected mayor?
I think that the one thing that we need to do, again, you know, there's a lot of well-to-do people in Mission, and God bless them. You know, they don't need anything other than good fiscal, you know, financial management of their money and their tax dollars and being able to squeeze everything we can out of those dollars, right? But we have areas like Tierra Dorada, Mission Acres, La Cuchilla, Madero, a sister city, Granjeno. And those people have really, and again, with all due respect to the mayor, they've been ignored, you know, and our
La
police.
Cuchilla for sure.
Yeah.
South of the expressway.
Yes.
Pretty much still
Still a bad area.
tiny
there?
little homes.
Still bad.
It's not that it's a bad area, but, you know, when
Neglected.
neglected. When you got sofas and refrigerators in an alley and you got delinquents up till 4 o'clock in the morning burning rubber and listening to
Not
music,
good, not
every
good.
individual in every area of Mission deserves a minimal level of dignified living.
Yes, yes.
And if you think that all of that is only going to be found or it's only necessitated by those areas that are well-to-do, and then that's where me and the mayor go separate ways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
that's a
believe
good
in that.
analogy. That's a good analogy. That draws a line of distinction.
It does. And I think that even though we may not, you know, these areas are of lower value and their taxes and their responsibility is a little bit less than everyone else's.
Some of those
you know,
little houses have 3 or 4 generations living in there. You got
They
the
do.
baby,
They do.
the daughter, the mother, and the grandmother,
Sure. Yeah.
all in one tiny little house.
That's right. Yeah, you know, those areas need a noise ordinance as well.
Yeah.
I was on my way over here right now, and I can hear this guy from 2 or 3 blocks away. I was listening to what he was listening to. and I get it. Gary, I get it today. You can drive with the windows down.
Yeah.
But my friend, when it's 110
Yeah.
and I'm listening to your shit,
Yeah.
dude, you need to get a ticket.
Yeah.
Because they're part of the problem. But every municipality needs strong police protection.
Yeah.
That's how you keep business owners.
Are you
there.
good with PD?
Yes, I am, and unlike the mayor, you know, who has spent and is going through so much money with the EMS and the firefighters, I'm sorry, I can't do for them what she's doing for them today. I'm a big supporter of the PD, and I've asked some of the police officers that have been there for years to stick around.
Yeah.
Hope is on the way. I don't know if you've seen that. I mean, my call signal is Hope is here, which is funny because coming from a conservative like me, and it's a liberal slogan used in 2008 by our former president, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Hope has no political connection. You know, hope comes in many different forms.
Hope is universal.
Hope is universal.
And
so
it has different meanings to different people, but at the same time, it means the same thing to everyone.
that's right. So I want the people of Mission to know and understand that with me, it's no politics or less politics, more business. And my efforts, along with every other council member, should be to improve the lives of everyone across the board.
So you just use a key word, business. So we have listeners, Noe can attest this. We have listeners, most of our listeners are here in South Texas, obviously. But we have listeners around the world and around the country. What would be an economic advantage under a Rick Salinas administration for somebody to come down to Mission and either open a business or move their business?
I think that one of the advantages would be is that we need to find a way to again, there's many incentives that we can do through the EDC, okay? And you're going to get me started on something else because right now there's no transparency in the way those monies are being used. I mean, that's my honest to goodness opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been efforts that are being made to try to get, credit card statements. Where are these monies being expensed, right? Because we have an EDC, but yet
Nobody knows where the money's going.
Nobody knows where the money's going. We're
Yeah.
like a tree branch on a tree that's slowly withering and dying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it would be an unfair burden, I think, to taxpayers to raise taxes because people are making mistakes. I think taxes are good when you take that money and you invest it and people in the city can see where that money is going.
Absolutely.
And those efforts need to be made not for 5 people, 10, 20, but for everybody.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not in the city right now. No matter how many FOIA requests you make, they don't necessarily give you all the numbers. It's part of the political adversarial game that we play with one another. Don't let him have it.
Yeah.
He can't have it. He can't see it.
Hold off. Let's get an attorney general opinion.
That's right. But in 2023, I went to city council. That was one of the videos that you saw. And I warned the mayor and I warned the city council about what they were spending and what they were doing. And if you remember prior
I like
to her,
what you said. I come in peace.
I come in peace because Gary, I got tired of going over there. It seemed like I was walking in there with a stick all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, I think that I don't want the people in Mission to think that I'm just the angry man.
Yeah.
I wanted them to know that there is a logical, reasoning, thinking human being here, right?
Yeah.
And for someone that only eats what he kills, okay? Because I don't take anything from Uncle Sam. I don't take anything from a contractor within a municipality or with a state. What I do is true capitalism. I eat what I kill.
Yeah.
I hunt. I don't take it from the taxpayer. I don't get contracts. I don't get any of that shit, dude.
Yeah.
For me, this is what you see.
So you went before the city commission and you brought them a big compliment sandwich. I come in peace, but boom. You spoke
Right.
fact, you spoke tendencies, and you spoke truth.
Yeah. And I think that, one of the sore subjects there is EMS. For me, based on what I've seen, even though they'll tell you something else in the use fuzzy numbers, we blow about $15 to $20 million on the CMS.
Yeah. You know why? Nobody, I don't know one person who's ever paid an ambulance ride bill. They just don't. They live, they're like, fuck, I lived.
Sure.
They sent me a bill. Somebody's going to write deceased on it and send it back.
And the other thing is this, there's no consequence for EMS bills.
Yeah.
In other words, it doesn't ruin your credit. You don't get sued. And then the reimbursement on behalf of the government is like 20 cents to the dollar.
Yeah.
So it's a losing proposition.
Could you modify that in some way or as mayor?
Look, the police department, let me say it this way. The police department is the same thing as EMS, except we've prioritized emergency response police protection.
Yeah.
Because no town can live without some form of law enforcement.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. Because we really don't make any money from law enforcement.
Yeah.
We do it so the guy next door doesn't come and take your wife, your kids. And
Yeah.
like they used to do mas antes, can I have some milk? This guy just takes it, right?
Yeah.
So police protection is necessary. Ambulance EMS service is not, okay? And it's a very novel, very ideal. It's a very neat idea, but it's like saying that everybody in Mission is going to drive a Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
Gary, we know that not everybody can be a winner, and I've never known of anybody that wants to move into a town because they've got nice red ambulances.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it's a drain.
It's a drain.
So it's city-owned, then it's not contract,
Yes,
right?
it's city-owned. That's the problem. And what I'm saying is that there's an alternative. And what you got to do as a mayor is put on your big boy pants and, muscle up and tell these independent contractors, this is what I expect.
Yeah.
We're going to do this for a year. And if you don't do it, there's a couple other guys
There you go.
that want the job.
There you go.
Let me ask you this. The commission, is it staggered? Like who's going, are there 3 will be up with you? Or?
Three of them are up. We have Mrs. Ortega, we have Mrs. Gerlach, and the mayor.
You good with all them or?
No, I'm not good with any of them.
Okay.
Okay, and let me tell you why. Gerlach is a yes woman. I mean, with all due respect to her and her husband, I'm sorry. I'm going to take an old slogan from Reagan is, are you any better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
Yeah.
And,
So you're supporting other people that would be running with you.
Right, but this is the problem, and I was going to do this later, and you've kind of taken the powder out of my bullet, Gary. It's like you're a mind reader. If I'm going to run against the mayor, I'm literally running against all three of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is because, and this is good for the listener to understand the way I think, my battle just isn't with the mayor. If she's got two other non-opposed opponents, incumbents, I'm literally fighting against the three.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a fact.
So I'm going to do it here for the very first time. I'm looking for a few good men, a few good women.
Yeah.
All right? Conservative people that want to bring mission back to life.
Who would you like? I mean, you can say somebody that you would prefer to see there with you.
Well, you know, I've reached out, and he may not like this, but I reached out to Andrew Riddle.
Okay.
I reached out to George Martinez. And today I'm reaching out to everybody in Mission, anybody who feels, look, we can't sit back and idly wait for a miracle.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, you're not looking for yes men.
No, I'm not looking for
You're
yes
looking
men.
for men of action or women of action.
George Rice, the
5x5
guy.
We've had him on the
you know,
podcast.
I like him a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I think the EDC kind of spun him wrong, you know, and without getting into all the details of it. But, you know, we can't continue to ignore something that's inevitable unless we do something about it now. And, you know, I want to warn the people in Mission, you know, I may not be the right guy all the time, but I'm the best thing today because I'm the break the glass in case of emergency kind of guy.
Yeah.
And Mission is in the middle of an emergency.
Yeah.
I told people the other day we got about $192,000, believe it or not, Billy, between now and June. And they're going to use tomorrow's revenues to fix today's problems. Do you remember that old thing, Gary? It says, I use cocaine so I can work harder, so I can make more money.
Yeah.
So I can buy more cocaine, so
Yeah.
I can work harder,
Yeah.
so I can
A vicious cycle.
a vicious cycle. And that's what Mission is in. I mean, we are being shadowed by FAR. We're being shadowed by Edinburgh, and we're being left behind. And McAllen doesn't care for us anymore. McAllen says they want to break up with us. And if McAllen is so rich, I wouldn't doubt that somewhere down the road they may even try to annex the city of Mission. That's how small we've become.
Wow.
But is it because McAllen's growing north versus growing? They used to grow west, and they needed the Mission's help to annex some of the land. And
You know, you're not going to believe it. I think that McAllen wouldn't want to do that. I was joking about it, but in theory, it would make sense. But why would McAllen want to do it now?
Yeah.
You know, you guys got too many
Well,
problems. you know?
McAllen would say under their breath, we don't have to.
That's right. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. You
Like
know?
my brother used to say, cada chango su mecate.
Sumacate, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they're like, yeah, they probably enjoy watching Mission flounder.
Yeah.
Because
I
there's
mean,
still a lot of parochialism here in the Valley.
There is.
And I think that needs to be done away with. People need to work together. Communities need to work together. This thing you brought up about the ambulance, Mission's not the only one in that boat. There's other cities out here who have their own ambulance service, losing $1 million a month, and they rely on other monies to sustain that kind of service. Having said that, what is going on with the Ansel Dua Bridge? Is it making money for you guys?
Oh, God, we cut a terrible deal when that happened. And again, Gary, I don't know exactly the kind of money that we're making, but I know that when Dr. Cañas was there, that plan kind of floundered a little bit, you know. We didn't have the long-term vision for it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same problem we had with Cimarron. You know, we bought Cimarron, and Cimarron is just floundering out there somewhere.
Yeah, with the golf course, right?
Yeah. And then we had, you know, Mr. Alonso Catu, who's wealthier than the city of McAllen and Mission put together. And we screwed that up, too. We insulted the poor guy. And, you know, it's just a series of unfortunate events, taking a page from Lemony Snicket's, right? So it's just a series of unfortunate events. And
But Cimarron was such a prestigious location.
Yeah.
Oh, I live in Cimarron. Where do you live, Cimarron? Ooh, they live in Cimarron. Yeah. And now it's not the same.
It's not. And this is the problem that some of the, you know, we started with PSI when Dr. Cañas was there. It failed miserably. We lost a lot of money. And people in other areas of Western Hidalgo
PSI
County,
is what?
that the waterless, the meters that were wireless water meters.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yes, yes.
And we
yes.
blew through a lot of money, and some people got arrested. Some people are pending sentencings and stuff like that. And people forget that we went through that, you know? People forget that there were critical mistakes that caused people their freedom, right? My father was one of those taxpayers that decided through me to sue the city, to sue PSI, to stop that.
Yeah.
We saved a bunch of money in the middle of that, okay?
I'm sure you made a few enemies, too.
Sure. I mean, I make a friend, I make an enemy every day, right? But, I mean, after that, you know, we had this mayor take over, and she gave everybody a pay raise when we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
Created the CMS without any money. Decided that she wanted to keep the EDC money that was supposed to go to them by law and keep it in order to hide this idea that we were broke.
Would you accept our endorsement?
Yes.
The Living Large Theater podcast, fastest growing podcast in America. Let me handle some business here, okay? Because we're going to ask you to do a little outro, but got to take care of business here first. Don't forget our sponsors, White Sands Marina. They are veteran-owned by Arnold and Corina Flores. Spring break right around the corner. Make sure you make your reservations there. You can get out on the water with a boat captain. You can also enjoy great food and awesome beverages. And save a lot of money. Trust me. Make your reservation right now at wsnsuites.com. Texas sportsman Fred Rodriguez, recognized as the premier hunting and fishing guide in South Texas. Vantage Media, trusted by over 100 businesses and service providers. VantageMedia.com. Trapped RGV Escape Rooms. Get your six-pack right now by texting Trapped RGV to me, 956-225-6397. And Ward Thomas and Majestic Studios. If you're ready to record your next hit record, say Gypsy Rose, why not do it here at Majestic Studios in McAllen, 2037 Orchid Avenue. We are talking right now with Rick Salinas. He's the power attorney of South Texas, and he is the candidate for mayor of Mission, Texas. Billy, I'm sorry I stepped on you a little bit, but you were going to ask Rick something?
No, you already answered the question.
I was going to ask Rick something. If, say, you do win, how long do you want to run for mayor?
Oh, dude, let me tell you, that's a good question, because I think, unlike my father, who was there 20 years, I don't have a deep affection for politics. I think that my motivation's been faith-based, and the fact that there's so many friends that I have in mission and family that have asked me to do it. And I think it falls on the heels of having lost my father recently in 2023. And people just, in the words of Waylon Jennings, and you can tell I'm a musician, the famous song, maybe it's time that we get back to the basics of love. Yeah. You know, and we're too caught up. The city of Mission is too caught up with social media. Maybe they weren't very popular kids when they were growing up, and now it seems like that's all they want to do. Yeah. And for me, I'd like to take a business approach, like a banker, a CPA. Let's get down to business. Let's do what we need to do, and let's keep in mind that this is for everybody, not just a few. Not for the. I'm not taking money from vendors. Yeah. And people say, "Hey, why not?" Because if you're a vendor with the city of Mission, I'm not going to take your money. But you can look at her campaign report, and she's taking money from vendors. And the problem with that is that it compromises your ability to do what's right. That's right. Because Gary gave me some money. Yeah. And, you know, Gary wants that damn
and power
job.
is very seductive.
It is. It is.
Let's do a little outro here, Rick. Your number, if people want to get a hold of you, they want to campaign for you, they want to block walk for you or donate, how do they get a hold of you?
They can call my office at 956-584-3900.
When is election day and when is the early voting start?
Election day is November 3rd. Okay, so I don't have the early voting dates yet because the deadline to file is, or the deadline is July. It's somewhere between June 1st and July 1st. Okay. And if you remember, we used to have our races in May. Yeah. And the mayor in her infinite wisdom decided with the city council, because nobody can say no, decided to move them to November. So in a weird way, they've extended her term by 4 or 5 months, you know? Yeah. So it is what it is. How they did that, you know, that would take another hour, Gary. But I think that they had no business doing that. It should have stayed in May to focus.
It's in May everywhere else.
That's right. And when you move it to November, it gets lost.
Right.
With the general,
the midterms are going on.
The midterms are going on. That's right. So
What's your greatest hope as we close out here? Give me your greatest hope as mayor of Mission for Mission.
My greatest hope is I hope that the people in Mission understand that their tax dollars are more important than any friendship you may have with any one politician.
Mm-hmm.
And that if this little town that is slowly withering away is going to survive, they need to set aside any other commitment. That doesn't mean you don't have to be friends, but they need to do what's right for their neighbor and for themselves. So the motto in my campaign is their hope is here, and let's learn to be better neighbors for one another.
Amen.
Amen,
We've been
baby.
talking with Rick Salinas, South Texas power attorney and candidate for mayor of Mission, Texas.
It's the Living Large Theater podcast. Reach out to us at livinglargetheater@gmail.com. We're available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and now on YouTube. Hashtag Living Large Theater podcast. Reach out to us if you want to become a sponsor of this fine show. 956-451-1633. Rate our podcast, share with a friend, leave a comment, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button. Until the next episode, you keep living large because you know we're living large.